Other than me being a wise ass and a really smart cookie at the beach, if something doesn't feel right, don't. This is what also happened in the last couple days. I went for a freaking walk. I decided to go for a walk over Lionsgate Bridge, which connects the North Shore of Vancouver to Stanley Park, which is basically a really nice big park in the city center. This is also good exercise for me to prepare for my big hike tomorrow. I've just been sitting around for too long. I need to get some exercise. It's incredibly loud, there are 4 lanes next to me, but the views make up for that. Worth it. So much fun and so noisy. Oh, stop this boring music, bro, and play something funky. Well, maybe not this funky. I'm screaming right now because I couldn't hear a thing down there. This is also one of my favorite places in Vancouver. What's happening there? There are lots of tourists just behind me sitting on the bus taking pictures of me and the bridge. I don't dare turning around. I'm pretty surprised. It's not crowded at all. When I was here last time in June, this place was packed with tourists. Well, there are tourists all around, but this is like nothing. It's not high season anymore. I just have to remind myself that next time when I come here, which is basically end of November, it's not the same season anymore. It's gonna be rainy and kind of chilly, so I'm just aware of the fact that if I want to see stuff again, I better do it now. I like going on these kinds of walks, as it helps me to address stuff that's on my mind, solve problems, or just think and talk aloud to myself, which is kind of what I do anyway. There's been one thing on my mind for a couple of weeks, and I've been thinking about it for quite some time. I'd like to address it now. It's called inspiration. What or who's inspiring me in today's world? I never really thought about it until I started watching YouTube videos a couple of years ago. One day I had an epiphany. I discovered Casey. I was never as happy to see the sun as right now after spending 10 minutes in the shade and in the cold. It feels like winter back there. Warm me, sun. Just warm me. But let's get back to Casey. Casey Neistat, that is. Why am I talking about this guy anyway? Because with 10 million subscribers, he's one of the big shots of YouTube. Casey's been vlogging for quite a while now. I personally discovered him 2 years ago, and ever since, I couldn't stop watching.
And let's go straight to my next guest, who is, I guess you can describe him as a bit of a maverick, an American filmmaker whose very popular YouTube videos are really redefining our thoughts on what movies are all about. His name is Casey Neistat. He's a New Yorker and been gaining international fame since around 2003.
This doesn't necessarily make him interesting, but the thing is, this guy's got something to say.
What I love about YouTube is how accessible it is. You know, my young son, has a YouTube channel just like I have a YouTube channel. And there's no difference. So having the entry point be the same for everyone, I think creates a true meritocracy. And that, I think, is a more level playing field, is a more fair distribution medium than something like a prestigious film festival or any of those sort of political avenues of distributing media.
Oh, that's a very brave man. I wouldn't dip a toe in this water. Must be freezing. It's the Pacific. Oh, it's the water. Freezing. Oh, that's what I thought. Bye bye beach. This was a hoot and a half. I'm so glad I did this walk today. I didn't expect me to go this far. Basically, I've never been this far. I just wanted to go for like an hour and a half, 2-hour walk. But it's gonna be like a 4-hour walk, I think, when I'm back in my car, which is like another hour that way. But just to make a long story short, Casey is just this guy producing awesome content on YouTube. He's the reason I started vlogging. He's the reason I thought about making movies. I'm also so glad that I brought a granola bar with me, because I knew that I might go for a long walk, even though I didn't intend it. I usually end up going for much longer walks than I wanted to in the beginning. Nowadays, my YouTube watching habits are much more diversified. From Casey, I made my way up to discover Peter McKinnon, this really gifted Canadian filmmaker and photographer. This is exhausting to walk uphill all the time. From Peter McKinnon, I went on to Dan Mays. And in the last couple of weeks, I went from Dan Mays to Cody Warner. So there you go. It's not only Casey anymore. This is not at all the video I wanted to do about inspiration today, but I think I just got tired and drifted off. So there you go, that's all I have to say about this topic. I got inspired by a couple of YouTubers, that's all I need. That gets me going, that motivates me to produce my own content, and that's what I do. If it's good or not, doesn't really matter. Just keep producing, that's all that matters, that's all there is to it. Let's call it a day and go home. And as usual, home is where I decide to park tonight. That should be enough exercise for today. I'm so exhausted. I highly recommend checking them out. Or whatever.